Welcome to 10Q Interview. This week we have the fifth installment and final installment of the Summer Advice series, where we get words of wisdom from content creators around the world and some of the pearls of wisdom that they want to share with you and share with me. In today's amazing episode, we have content from Kia Kamgar, Alec Jones, Leanne Hughes and Mike Buonaiuto. Stay tuned, it is a cracker. Now, on to the podcast. Kia Kamgar. If I or someone came up to you and said, look, I want to start creating daily videos,
yeah,
what would you say to them?
Do it.
Do it.
Just do it. What's stopping you? What's the stopping you? I mean, I know what's stopping you. If you were to ask, right? If someone was to ask, and I would tell them, I know what's stopping you.
What
you
is
think
stopping
it's
most
difficult.
people?
You're complicating it.
Right.
I can give you my Apple Note thing.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do. Obviously, you need to change it for what you want to do, but you don't need Notion, right? You don't need a script. You don't need the blue light behind you. You need a phone.
Yeah.
That's literally all you need. No, I tell a lie. You need a microphone as well.
Okay.
Being an audio guy, someone can look at crappy video, but they could never listen to crappy audio. Never, ever. So get a cheap $50 microphone, connect it to your phone, start recording. Even if you don't want to put it out because you're very aware of you don't like being on camera, I should say.
Yeah.
Just record it for yourself. Don't even watch it again. Don't even post it.
Someone said that to me recently about, and I think it's really good advice. They said the same thing about just start recording yourself.
Just start recording.
Even if you don't put it anywhere, just start recording to try and get that natural feeling.
Just the point is to get comfortable with the technology.
Yeah.
More so than anything else, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it helps you get in front of the camera, but the fact that you can, plug in a microphone, record.
Yeah.
That in itself is a pain in the butt for someone who doesn't want to do it. So get used to that. Just plug, record.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. Record in any way you want. Just get used to, that's all it is. Plug, record, do it 10, 15 times, 20 times. It doesn't matter. Get used to it. Once you got used to it, then you realize, I haven't worried about the camera.
Yeah.
Right? Then you don't even watch the videos if you don't want to, if you feel awkward. Delete them straight after. But plug, record, do it, and then you'll figure out afterwards what you want to talk about.
I really think that is solid advice, and you're the second person to give that very thing, and I've never heard it before in the last week.
Really?
And I think it's so true, because even if you don't want to watch it, it's just getting used to it, the process.
Get used to it.
Because a lot of people will put the camera up and then they'll freeze. They'll be like, I don't want to know.
Yeah. But what they'll do is get the stuff because they want it to look like someone else. Yeah. That's the worst thing you could do, because you'll get it and then you're useless in front of the camera. Two things that happen. You get annoyed with everything, sell it, or, won't do anything. It just won't do anything and get annoyed. It's like, don't get any of this stuff. Just plug it in, record, and that's it. Just test that, use that, do nothing else. Once you get used to it, then go to the next step, whatever the next step is for you.
Alec Jones. Let's talk about advice for aspiring YouTubers. If someone said they wanted to create a channel, what is it you tell them?
I guess have a starting plan in place, like in terms of what you're looking to achieve about it, but also set reasonable expectations. I think people do expect the growth to come potentially quicker than it does. So, be mindful of that. But even if the growth initially is slower, having a plan of where it's going to go afterwards. So like I said, I put systems in place for things like, people being able to monetize it before monetization. And having those things kind of in place from the outset, I think is worth spending the time doing and getting that structure in, like, right from the beginning.
Okay. Did you have a growth plan?
I did, but it's kind of pivoted. So, that's the other thing, is like, when you've got a plan is always be open to new opportunities when they come. So, I did feel that, like, there would be something that would come out of it, but I couldn't I couldn't, put a thing on. I never set subscriber numbers as goals either, because a goal, you need to be in control of a goal. Or if you're aiming for something. So the actual numbers never factored into that, but things like the number of videos or whatever it is, something that is actually tangible that you're in control of are the only things really ultimately that you can control. So
it's funny that I'm not in content creation, but that's advice I give a lot to people about don't set your goals as something that's not in your control.
Yeah. It's that whole thing.
Exactly the same thing. Like, just say, I'm going to put out 100 videos over this time frame, and know that you have total control over that, as opposed to what the results are at the end.
It comes back to the what they call SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable. That all that kind of stuff.
Leanne Hughes, if someone came up to you, and again, I'll throw this podcast or writing or both. If someone came up to you and said, Leanne, I really want to write a book, or I want to start a podcast, what would you tell them?
Let's do it. Let's get it done now. We can get it done in 90 minutes. Let's map it out and go.
Do you know, it's funny. I asked that question, and I invariably get a very similar answer. And I don't know if that's because the people, like some sort of confirmation bias of the people are getting on this podcast.
I think I think people just overthink. And it's like nothing matters. Let's just do you want to do it? Let's get it done. And it's not that hard. Like once I've done it now, it's easy for me to re-engineer it for someone else. So
how long had you been thinking about writing a book before you wrote
forever,
a book?
like 4 or 5 years. I was so angry. Honestly, that's why I did it on the 1st of January, because on the 31st of December, I was reflecting on the year and going, I'm so pissed off I'm not an author yet. I'm so angry. And that's what propelled me to do it. It was the pain.
Oh, really?
It was the pain of that. Yeah. I was so, honestly, I was fueled by that, by rage.
So what would you have said if I'd have asked you that question in December last year?
What would I have said to that person if they...
Yeah. I suspect you might have said the same thing, which is kind of why I'm asking.
Yeah, I think we probably would have just like shaken each other and gone, let's just do this together and figure it out together. Like, let's do this now. It would be, yeah.
And Mike Buonaiuto, if someone came up to you and said they wanted to write a book, what would you tell them?
Don't do it. No, I'm kidding. I would say, why? Because it's a tactic, not a goal. It's there to achieve something, and in this instance, I wanted to help people. It's not there to make tons of money. It's not there to launch another business. Plenty of people do write books to launch businesses, and that's fine. But I just genuinely want to help people. So I'd ask why, and I'd probably tell them to plot out. One of the tactics I found really useful is using sticky notes, and I would write all of the different chapters and the nuggets of the chapters, and then every piece of research or interview with a scientist we had was on a different color sticky note. And in the room next door in the office, we had all on the wall. I took over all wall, and you just, you can move stuff around with sticky notes, which makes it really, really easy to figure out the order of play before your pen even starts or your fingers start typing.
It's funny, isn't it? Like, all the tech that's available to us all day, every day, sticky notes still seem to win out.
It just works.
I love a Post-it. Yeah.
I love the idea as well that it's physically taking up space in your home, because that's also an incentive to get that shit done. Because you don't want a whole wall forever taken up with this idea. You want to get it off the wall and onto the page.
Yeah. No, I agree. Good tips. Thank you for tuning in, folks. I hope you got some value out of that. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribed everywhere you may watch or listen to this. And if you think of someone who would get some real insight or some value out of also checking it out, make sure you share it with them. Take care of yourselves.